Good morning, Jeffrey Paul again with an inspiration and a little bit more extended today. Of course, it's Sunday, and from our 3 to 5 minute inspirations all week long, every morning at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, I get the excitement to be able to share it even deeper with you on Sunday because you have that day off. But we did it on Thanksgiving too, which really your responses were incredible. I think we either hit 400 views or almost went over it. So thank you for sharing it with so many because it was just an incredible insight to where you guys are just being inspired, and each and every one of you are inspiring others. Okay, but today I want to call you by a name that I don't think many of you have been called. But as I share today this inspiration and this teaching, you're going to understand a lot more clearly about you and that you are a kaleidoscope. I was so much wanting to find a kaleidoscope. I don't have one, but I will very, very soon. You'll see it on my shelf with my hourglass because it is such a symbolic meaning. When I started to go into my study this morning, and I was asking, sometimes why do we find ourselves always feeling like we're changing, or we're always feeling like there's a new thing in us, or we're inspired and we get motivated every day or every other day or not. What's all that changing going on? Well, I've got the definition right here for you that's written next to the opening and the title, Kaleidoscope. Let me read it to you because it's so important. I want you to relate to you, and this is how this teaching is going to roll out, because it talks about in Romans chapter 12, verse 2, that each and every day you and I are transformed by the renewing of our mind. Let me say that again. Each and every day you and I are transformed by the renewing of our mind. And I'm not talking about the thinking mind, not the gray matter between our skull and our eyeballs, but the reality is the true mind within you, the spiritual you, is being transformed every day, and you're being renewed, you're being restored if your kaleidoscope is picked up and rotated with light flowing through it. Inspiration, spiritual insights, love, motivation, all the things that make a kaleidoscope radiantly beautiful. Have you ever seen a kaleidoscope? Have you? Give me a kind of a little check off today, this morning. If you've really been able to recognize a kaleidoscope, or you remember when you were a kid with a kaleidoscope up in the sky. Well, let me read this to you. It's a constant changing pattern or sequence of objects or elements. Let me give that to you, a definition right from Siri on my iPhone that I looked up this morning, that a kaleidoscope is a constant changing. Isn't it like you and I? A constant changing, not changing just for change purposes, but we're learning more things. We're being more inspired. There's more life coming into us. There's more color coming into our lives when we're truly seeking that inspiration of that light to flow through us so that others can see that beauty of changing sequences and objects and elements. Now, I want you to remember when you saw a kaleidoscope the last time, how beautiful it was, and it was never the same. There was, I don't know how many billions of opportunities that all those crystals and all those prisms created, all those different beautiful patterns and sequences and looks. And you're probably saying right now, well, Jeff, that sounds really good, but it doesn't sound like me. Oh, but it is. Oh, it is. Each day that you're inspired, each day that you allow inspiration to come into you, each day that you allow your spiritual being to truly illuminate, as we talked about earlier this week, the illumination goes through your spirit. That's your kaleidoscope container. And suddenly, as it starts to turn and transform, as Romans 12:2 talks about, you become renewed. You see a new sunrise. You see a new sunset. You see a new horizon, a new sky, a new you, a renewed you, as it says in Romans 12:2. Wow. That's the way life is supposed to be. It isn't to be dark. It isn't to be having all the potential, all the beauty, all the colors, all the sequences, all the patterns that you personally, individually have in your life because of you and the way God has made you. You're not to be put on a shelf. You're not to just be, but you're to be allowing the light to illuminate through you from within, and then for the world to see the kaleidoscope patterns and sequences and transformations and renewals of your life on a daily basis to excite, to stimulate, and to inspire them to become more of the kaleidoscope they are. Now, I want to just kind of give you what happens to us in a day-to-day basis of why our kaleidoscope sometimes ends up on the shelf. Why do our kaleidoscopes not have the beautiful patterns, the beautiful, beautiful colors, the beautiful sequences that a kaleidoscope is made and created to be showing each and every day, each and every time that somebody picks it up and looks through it? Well, let's start to break this down to a daily, not only inspiration, but challenge. You, most of every one of you that come and share with me in the mornings, every day, 7 days a week, you allow light to illuminate within you. That's what this is all about. This is all about light, illuminate, inspiration. My little sign in the background over here that you can only see reversed, but it does say inspire. But the reality is that that light, while you're here, goes within you and brings forth an illumination of hope and of encouragement, and go hug somebody I've shared with you, or appreciate yourself. That illumination from our times together, whether they're 3 to 5 minutes or maybe more like on a Sunday with a 15 or 20 minute segment like this, the illumination allows your beauty. Remember, change begins within, so does beauty begin within. That transformation that Romans 12:2 talks about represents such a powerful level of you being. It's really the spark that brings you to being who you've been made to be. And you know, God has said over and over again, He formed you before you were even in the womb. He sparked life into you. He sparked light into you. And light brought life that gives you and I the ability to be kaleidoscopes. Kaleidoscopes that have so much beauty that people are just drawn to you. They're just magnetized to you. They're just drawn so powerfully to find out why your illumination is drawing them to their own desire of illumination, which we all were born with. Each and every person wants to have the kaleidoscope of their unique individualness showing the world more beauty. Now, that might sound like a fairy tale to you. It's not. It's all biblical. It's all based on the reality of the spiritual consciousness that we were created for a purpose. We're not created to sit on a shelf. We're not created to just go day to day on our normal situations from time to time that we may spark. We're to spark and sparkle and illuminate the world. We're to bring light into the world, beauty into the world, excitement, inspiration into the world. That's what you, not just Jeffrey Paul, I'm just one of the little crystals in the big kaleidoscope, but so are you. Each and every one of us are crystals of beauty and change every time that we illuminate through inspiration. And that's why I get so excited about sharing with you that at the end of every segment we do, that I remind you, in case you forgot who I am, and then I tell you that beauty and change begins within. But see, within can get dark. Within you, unless the light and inspiration and the spiritual illumination is taking place daily, regularly, and even throughout the day, your kaleidoscope lays idle. Your light, your beauty, that's your potential of creating change every day, more beauty, more excitement. You know, some people say to me, Jeff, where do you read all these inspirations? Where do you get all these inspirations? Well, by being inspired. Now, I don't necessarily read something to bring to you. I take right from my journal, What's inspiring me today? What's illuminated my kaleidoscope today? What's turned me and renewed me at Romans chapter 12, verse 2? Go there today and look at that simple one verse. But prior to that, it says, don't any longer, in verse 1, don't any longer allow the world to conform you. And here's what conforming to this world is: to become like it, dark, complaining, always with the bad news from CNN or ABC or CBS or Fox. It doesn't matter the difference. The news creates a negativity, a darkening to our excitement. Yes, we need news, but we don't need as much of it as we need. We need good news to inspire us. But what happens, the world conforms us. It brings us to a place where we think that we're just supposed to be instead of being. You hear me? The world wants you just to be. Be good, be quiet, be in place, pay your taxes. But God, although He wants you to be good and pay your taxes, He wants you to be all you can be as a kaleidoscope, with Him being the light that illuminates your beauty, your change, your transformation, your amazing creativity of being one of a kind. I've got to share this with you because the word kaleidoscope has been, just since 4 o'clock this morning, exploding within me, because it's so much to me, and I hope to you. I hope you let me know that back in comments and your likes and your hearts, because I want to be sure you're catching what a kaleidoscope really is. Let me read it again to you right out of the dictionary of my Sari when I asked her this morning. I didn't even know how to spell it. I started spelling it with a C. My cousin Janet would have just been so embarrassed by me spelling kaleidoscope with a C, but it starts with a K. But in turn, the definition was pretty simple. It says a constant changing pattern. Isn't it you? Every day. Your metabolism. This is how creation is. Now listen to me. Creation. I know this from wellness, studying wellness almost for 35, 40 years. Did you know that you are constantly changing? Your blood is changing. Your molecules are changing. Your skin is shedding. You are in a constant change. You're not the same that you were 7, 8, 12, 24, 48, 72 hours ago. That's how God made you. It doesn't mean that you work one day as a barber and one day as a teacher and one day as a lawyer. That's not the change that I'm talking about. It's the being change, the change within you that's changing constantly, the way that God's created you as a being. But as a spiritual being, you're a kaleidoscope. You're a kaleidoscope that is made to bring beauty and color and all of you through the inspiration of the light that comes through your spiritual within being and illumination. Then the world can look in your kaleidoscope and see a unique, special, one-of-a-kind individual that they are motivated for their life to express their kaleidoscope, their color, their transformation. But it goes on. The constant changing patterns and sequences of objects or elements. You're not just one thing. You're not just a mother. You're not just a daughter. You're not just a worker. Remember when we did our life plan? Your complexity is based on maybe 5, 6, 7 different roles that you play alone in your life to be who you are. Well, that's the outer. What about the inner? How many beautiful parts are there in you? You know, there's some days that a poem inspires you. There's other days that a song inspires you. There's another day that an inspirational video might inspire you. There's another one that even a smile from somebody or an encouragement inspires you. And now your kaleidoscope is working. That's the transformation that Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2 talk about. It renews your mind. Again, not the mind of the gray matter, but the mind within you, the mind of the Spirit within you, that draws upon the illumination of what you were created for, what you were created in. You were created in the light. And all of a sudden, you become pretty content and excited and motivated and inspired about your life. It's not about somebody else's life. It's not about reading about somebody else's life, doing well or doing something fantastic, but about your life and how powerful your kaleidoscope is and unique it is. Oh yeah, you're unique. You're so unique. You are one of a kind. You were done by the master himself, who created the most beautiful and individual kaleidoscope that will never repeat itself again except in you. And your job and my job is to let the light flow through us, to be illuminated, to be inspired, to be empowered, and then to go empower and inspire and illuminate others. Change the world. The world may look gloomy today. It may be cloudy today. You can go into someone's life and make it beautiful. You can make it like a rainbow. I put a rainbow in my little notes on the sideline above my YouTube address. That little rainbow reminds me of us. Have you ever seen a rainbow? How many have seen a rainbow? Please give me a hands up or a thumbs up. Have you seen a rainbow? Somewhere along in your life, you've seen a rainbow? Oh, some of you have seen a double rainbow. Thank you for that memo. The reality is, you've never seen two alike. You've never seen two rainbows, even if it's in the same area. You've never seen two rainbows alike. So whether it's called a rainbow or a kaleidoscope, and I'm going to use kaleidoscope today, you are unique. You are precious. You are wonderfully made, Psalms 139 says. But you were made as a creative being that was given light, was given life, and then made into flesh and blood. But before flesh and blood, there was light, there was spirit, there was inspiration, there was all these things that came together and created you into the flesh. But now, what I continually want to always share with you is this. You and I need to go within and allow beauty and change to transform whatever we were conformed to yesterday. Ooh, how does that tie in nicely for Romans 12, 1 and 2? It ties in exactly there. Each day we've got to re-illuminate. Each day we've got to get light into our prisms and into our crystals and into the process of allowing our kaleidoscope to truly begin to sparkle and transform again in a new day. Because the kaleidoscope was even used yesterday, it's not the same as today. Today is a brand new day. So here is my challenge to all the kaleidoscopes listening to this broadcast. It's time to truly gleam your beauty and show your beauty to the world. Today, I hope, and I want to know from you today, please commentary, please let me know that this has touched something within you, because it has for me. Be sure that today you allow inspiration inside within you to transform no matter what yesterday had, good, bad, ugly, black, white, whatever it was yesterday and the day before. Allow today to be your transformation and renewal. Let it be fresh and new. Let your kaleidoscope begin to turn and create just beautiful new colors and prisms and changes of pattern. Let people see all of your beauty today. Your smile, your joy, your kindness, your gentleness, your word of encouragement, your instructions, and all the beauty that comes from within you that you express to them. Allow a hug today to be a real hug. When you hug somebody today, just give them the kaleidoscope hug that just gives them all of the beauty of within you going within them. Does that sound like a beautiful hug versus one of those hug and tugs and a hug and what did somebody said, a hug and push away? It just is so fast. But pause and allow your beauty to really be present to them. It's so important that today you take this challenge to be all of the kaleidoscope that you can be. All of the kaleidoscope you could be. Let the beauty within you express itself in a way like you've never expressed before. Allow your colors to be new today. Allow your love to be expressed today. Allow your joy to be there. Allow the light. But here's how it happens. It all happens by going within you and allowing the light to transform what the world, what the news, what your life circumstances, what the situations all have caused you to become dark and not illuminated. Could have been so many things. I have a poem that Andrea Vecchia, my very close friend and inspiring woman who authored a book. She used to be on Good Company interviewee. She was the host with the mostest, I felt. If you take a look at my inspiration channel, you'll actually be able to see an interview that I've done with her. Just a very, very inspirational lady. We were sharing in our interview one day the reality of why some people get down, why some people aren't illuminated. I'm going to use today's lesson. Why they're not their kaleidoscope. And so often they begin to count their failures. They begin to count the things that didn't happen, could have happened, should have happened. That's why yesterday I shared with you about counting your accomplishments, because I'm ramping you up to get you ready for the best year of your life. The best year of your life, though, needs a tremendous platform to prepare to launch into, like a rocket, 2017. I'm preparing you because I have some incredible rollouts that I'm going to share with you and gifts. Oh, by the way, I'm so glad I reminded myself. Thank you, Lord. The reality is I have a gift for you. I have a gift of a wonderful wellness book by Dr. Bob, and he is an incredible author, incredible wellness doctor, good friend of mine, him and Debbie, his wife, and Anthony, and just his wife, and everybody who works at the incredible center that they make people well. But he's written a tremendous book that I'm going to give away by taking tonight, let's say at 12 o'clock. I won't be up. So tomorrow morning at 4 o'clock, when I do get up, I'm going to take and pull one of you out and send you a book that he's written about wellness and how to really live well, because I think that's just important. But it triggered off in my mind to remind you to share this message. But also, the reality is that we're getting ready to ramp up for a planning schedule of training and getting you ready to do a life plan now for 2017, the best year of your life, and to make your kaleidoscope just be incredible. But I was saying that Andrea did an interview, and we talked about what causes people to not feel illuminated and have that light within them. Well, here's a poem that she said pulled her out of the nosedive that almost put her out when she lost her job on Channel 3. Completely and unexpected, one day, 24 hours, lost her job, lost her fiance that was planning to get married, and then found a lump, all within approximately 1 week. It just crashed her life down. And as she began to walk the beaches, be encouraged by her mom and dad, who are wonderful people, she started a playlist, and the playlist was music that would give her inspiration, would illuminate her again, and give her that ability to take a deep breath. And this poem, she said, was the very poem that Theodore Roosevelt wrote, that she had always remembered from her brother who gave it to her, was an inspiration, a true inspiration for her. And I'm going to read it to you because I think it's the key. You can't look at yesterday and be inspired today. You need to look today within and allow the illumination to inspire your kaleidoscope today. It's a new day. It's a new day to be transformed and renewed in your mind in Romans 12:2 that we've been talking about. And this poem lets you know that no matter whether you fall down, you get up. No matter whether you get knocked down, you get up. No matter if you've achieved or haven't achieved, you keep going. It's a new day. It's a brand new day. And I want you to hear this, okay? Listen to this. This is called The Man, and I'm going to put / man or woman in the arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the man or woman who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man or woman who is actually in the arena. The credit belongs to the man or woman actually in the arena, whose face is marred by the dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, and who comes short again and again. Sound like us sometimes? Because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. but who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions? Who spends himself or herself in a worthy cause? Who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement? And who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that in his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Theodore Roosevelt. Well, whether you've erred, whether you've fallen, whether you've made a mistake, whether you have failed, whether you've achieved, go for it. Today is the day of Kaleidoscope. Today is where light is going to illuminate you, and make you the smiling, bright light that is beautiful inside and out, so others can really see your color, your kaleidoscope, your specialness. So, as I conclude this, remember that anyone who shares today, every time you share, you're going to be in a drawing for a brand new book that is going to be just wonderful for you to live your life by. Health and Wellness is as good as it gets with Dr. Bob. And I'll be giving you that book, and I'll be sending it to you complimentary to be just sharing this. Just celebrate the sharing of this message. But until tomorrow, when I wake up early and I share with you again at 7:30 tomorrow morning an inspiration with starting a brand new week, remember that beauty and change is illuminated from within you, and the light of the Spirit within you, once it illuminates through your crystals, through your prisms, through your beautiful colors that make up only you, allow yourself to really turn and let others view your beauty, how precious you are, how wonderful you are, and how beautiful you are. Let's go make the world a more beautiful place by allowing our kaleidoscope of our individual lives to really show them beauty and to lead them to their own beauty. Have a beautiful day. I'm Jeffrey Paul. Can't wait to see you tomorrow morning.